because, a mild uveitis is because of a nasty corneal ulcer there, a sort of mid-stromal ulcer. You can see the reflection from the top of the corneal surface and the reflection in the depth of the ulcer. There's a reasonable gap there, showing it's a mid-stromal ulcer, and that ulcer has stimulated trigeminal nerves, and the trigeminal nerves crazily have what we call an antidromic reflex. They go back into the iris and break down that blood aqueous barrier, which is why you've got a mild uveitis. Can I ask, how many of you have got a tonometer, a tonopen or a tonovet? Wonderful, that's great. It would, honestly, anyone got a Schiotz tonometer? Yeah, so I tell you, I mean, Schiotz is great for glaucoma. You can tell with a Schiotz easily if you've got a pressure of somewhere between 15 and 20, or whether you've got a pressure of 30 or 40. It's a bit more difficult with the Schiotz to see if you've got a pressure of 10 or 12 rather than 15 or 20. In the uveitis, you see a reduction in pressure. So, but easier to tell with a tonovet or a tonopen if that's happening, but much more difficult with the Schiotz. But even if you haven't got the money for for getting a tonopen or a tonovet, do get a Schiotz. Do you use your Schiotz on a regular basis? Oh. Now, so the key thing, if you've got a Schiotz, the way to get used to using it and to keep it functional is use it on a regular basis. Are you senior you're an assistant. So what you need to do is, if you use your Schiotz on a regular basis, then you can go to the boss and say, look, in the last month, I've used my Schiotz 5 times now. If we had a tonovet or a tonopen, we could have used it more. And then that's the way to get a better tonometer. Okay, so use that Schiotz more. Anyway, so I'd be worried about using a Schiotz where I've got a corneal ulcer, because the Schiotz, of course, is the indentation tonometer. But actually, so to know how much there's a uveitis there, the ideal thing would be to measure the intraocular pressure, and certainly with a tonometer like a tonopen or a tonovet, that'd be easy to do. And you'll find that the pressure in there is 8 millimeters of mercury, because what happens when there's a uveitis in the eye goes, oh no, there's so much inflammatory debris in the front of the eye. Maybe we're going to block the iridocorneal angle. Let's open up some new drainage channels in the ciliary body and the choroid. And that's why there's a reduction in intraocular pressure in a uveitis case. So worth measuring the pressure in the case you're worried. Is it uveitis? God gave animals 2 eyes, so you've always got hopefully you've got a normal one to compare with, so you can see if the pressure is 15 in one eye and 12 in the other. You can be fairly sure there's some degree of low-level inflammation going on in the eye. Then the question is, of course, what to do about it. If this eye is irritated and inflamed, how much is that because of ocular surface involvement, and how much is it because when there's a uveitis, you've got spasm of the iris muscle, which is constricting the pupil, spasm of the ciliary body muscle, which is actually giving you probably most of the pain in uveitis. So they're worth thinking about the fact that as well as the corneal ulcer there, you've got inflammation. Perhaps worth giving it some. I would worry about giving that topical non-steroidals, just because you could make that ulcer worse, but certainly think about giving it systemic non-steroidals, or even maybe tramadol to calm down any inflammation and pain in that eye. Now here's another one. What do you think, just out of interest, what's that little brown blob there? That's an iris cyst. That's actually a completely incidental finding in this black Labrador. Lots of black Labradors have iris cysts. But what's worrying here is, look, here's a pupil which crazily it's only small because there's a massive swelling locally here in the eye. Now this one is one where it's worth doing a fine needle aspirate. What would you, if you got if